Question?
Anything on film from that game that was different than your read?
Yeah. I mean, I think that some of the one thing I will say is I feel like they have a very good D line. That's a very well coached, very good defense, and I thought we got their best. They brought it, and I thought we played hard. I thought that they won some battles and we lost some battles at times. Some one-on-ones that led to some negative plays, but and some of the sacks I thought were a combination of things on sometimes the line, but sometimes the quarterback. So we got to fix that and we got to get better at that. But I was happy. Our ball security was better, and it was cold, windy day, and we were able to find a way to win, which was important for all of us.
On those sacks, and when we talk about the offensive line, we talk about those. What about the receivers? Do they ever figure into that as far as their route running, or has that not been a problem this year?
Yeah, I mean, maybe sometimes if it's you call the wrong play into a bad look and there's nothing there for the quarterback. That's happened this year. Or a guy lines up or takes the wrong release, that can affect something. I know we had one against Ole Miss that happened with a wide receiver. But overall, I think that it has not been good enough, but it's been a combination of things at different times. And we've dropped back and thrown it probably a little more than they have in the past year, and we've struggled at times to hold up. And we have to get better at that. It has to improve in the long run. But I like the way we practice today. I say it every week. I thought Will was smart in the fact that I don't mind taking a sack rather than throwing it in coverage. Sometimes it's okay to go down. And I thought he did a better job of getting rid of the football when he needed to in this game as well.
Rick, we talked so much about your tight end depth going into the year. What does it say about Jordan and Josh that the two youngest guys in that room have taken such a big share of the snaps in that position?
It says a lot about how good they are, because those other players are good players too, and they're proven players. I mean, Bates has been banged up this year and it's affected him, but they've earned that right through just really solid play, whether it's blocking or route running or pass catching, the reliability, the availability, all of it. Those guys they got a lot of grit. They're really special, talented players. You can see it early on, and I really feel like we got two really special freshman players that are going to be a big part of our future.
What do you see from the Vandy defense? I know they've struggled at times. What do you see from them overall?
They play very, very hard. Just watching them play Missouri, that's a team that we just took to the wire, and they took them to the wire too. One break goes a different way, they win that football game. So they strain. They had Ole Miss at halftime in a barn burner. They play hard. It didn't matter the last play against Georgia when on the field. They're straining, and it's something that they're coached right. They play hard. They have pride, and I think they have a really good inside linebacker. We got to know where he's at all times. He makes a lot of good plays, and again, they're going to come in here and they're going to bring it, and we're going to have to sustain it for 4 quarters, take care of the football, or we're going to be in for a long day.
How do you feel about your running back depth right now? John obviously wasn't available on the weekend. Those guys behind Chris haven't been quite as productive other than him. How do you just feel about that group as well right now?
It's hard because I don't want to disrespect any player in our program, but C-Rod is so good, and we all understand that. And so there's a natural drop-off regardless when one of your superstars comes off the field. And so that does happen at times. And those other guys have strengths and weaknesses too. It's just sometimes they're getting asked to do things maybe they're not at their best, and that doesn't let them be the best. But they've been productive and they've done good things. They've been good in pass protection. So I'm proud of those guys. But yeah, Jatan really helps us too. Like, he's a really innate, smart player. He's got really good feel. I've pointed out before, I think twice this year we've been on the 1 yard line and handed him the ball, and he's come up with 15-yard runs, and both of them he's made 7 to 8 after contact. Like, he's for a little guy, he runs very hard and powerful. So I love when Jatan's there. We lost Ramon early in the year, and the other guys have all played. So it's been 5, 6 guys out there. So it's a lot of guys outside of Chris, but I like them. They're all a little bit different.
Only 1 sack against Mississippi State a few weeks ago. It felt like that could have been a turning point for the O-line, and it didn't. The 4 against Tennessee and 5 against Missouri. Is there a reason? Was it just something Mississippi State, they just didn't bring it as much as the other teams? Or Did the O-line do something in that game that you want to see more?
Yeah, it's a hard one to answer. I mean, sometimes it's the way the game went. The quarterback got it out of his hand, or we were a little more conscientious of some of the things they did. But I like in the this last game, two of them were just, and then this happens with the QB. Sometimes I feel like the pocket's been on him at times, and so you're not always as comfortable. And then you get a clean pocket, and it's not as easy for you to move up into the pocket where you need to be. And so we got some good pockets in this game where he was really clean, and then there were some times where if he'd have moved up, he could have avoided some issues too. So that's part of the process. It's unfortunate that it hasn't been perfect to the point where he's been comfortable enough to be consistent. But I think when he plays in the NFL, it's how it's going to be every week, so it doesn't matter. But it's just the way it is. And this conference is tough, man. There's some really good pass rushers. We got some young O-linemen, and they challenge you every week. And I ain't gonna lie, again, that D-line was probably the best D-line we had played up until this point this year. I thought that they have some really big, strong pass rushers, and their interior players are very, very good players. So, sometimes it's schematically teams cause problems. I thought that their D-line was very relentless and very talented.
Stoops mentioned for after he's been hit so much, sometimes he'll have a clean pocket, but it's just nervous already. I guess, how do you work through a quarterback's mentality to just kind of trust the pocket even with the O-line that's giving up so many sacks?
It's just you're going to be doing it the rest of your life, and he just has to realize that when there's space and the cup is good and the tackles give ground, you got to move up. Good things will happen when you move up. When you move back, you hurt the tackles, and it's harder to play the position, and you're throwing off your back foot. It happens to a lot of college players at different times, and you grow from it. And he will, and it hasn't been a big problem all year. That hasn't been the issue, but it did happen a couple times in the game for whatever reason. But I think that in the end he'll move up and he'll understand that, and we'll be okay.
On that next to last drive when you scored when you entered your score, how much can that do for an offense when it struggled?
Yeah.
Off and on all year, and you
Yeah.
struggle in that game. You can't take advantage of short fields, but they do step up and get that score when you need it to.
Yeah, I mean, you can't flinch. I mean, you gotta stand in there. I mean, why did we make it happen? Because we stood in there and ripped a play action pass, and we didn't flinch, and we were confident, and we threw a screen for a touchdown, and it got called off the board for a hold. A young receiver coming off the bench, and he held him, and he's got to let go. And then on third down, we had to respond. We very easily could have, very easily you don't get that completion. You're kicking a field goal, and it's a whole different game. So the fact that they were able to pull it off, protection was good. Will made a great throw. Dane made a great play. That helps us in the long run, and that's who we should be. We should believe in ourselves on every drive that we can pull it out.
So let's speak a little bit to their mental toughness. A lot of times you see a team that has a penalty that wipes something out. It's a drive killer.
Yeah, and it has been at times this year, but it is a testament to the guys who made the plays. And we're young players. I mean, that O-line, those guys are young guys, are battling their butts off in there, but there's they are learning from these experiences too. And so I mean I do believe that there are some players that are growing up, that have grown up, and the Tennessee game, I don't want to knee-jerk because it was one moment in time. And when you look at Mississippi State and most of the Missouri game and the way we played when Will's been in there, it hasn't been perfect, but there's definitely been growth, and we are trending the right direction. So as long as you take care of the football, it's going to be hard to beat us. But if we don't, that to me will ultimately decide a lot of this. But I think we got the kind of grit that it takes to be successful when it matters most.
During this press conference today, Stoops mentioned that this Vandy team's a lot better than people perceive, especially based on the record. And you've already said that their defense plays hard. But is there anything else schematically or that stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean they've played a brutal schedule, and it's hard when you have. This conference every week, it's a different group of relentless, offenses and tempo and pass rushers and all this. And I imagine that at times there are a couple teams in this conference that they're 2 and 3 deep at some positions. Not everyone has that luxury. Us, them, Vandy at times, you lose a guy or whatever, it wears you down. So yeah, but I think they have a really sound scheme, and they play very hard. And their D line, I mean, they got after. I mean, there are a couple of sack. You watch them play Georgia. There's a sack fumble, and they're fighting their butt off. Like, if you don't give them, if you let them in the game, they're going to take advantage. They're going to beat you. And you got to respect that every week. And it doesn't matter. Nothing's easy in this conference.
Rich, you're about to be in Game 7 in conference play. Now that you've got this experience, is there anything that maybe surprises you or caught you by surprise, just like why it is so difficult, I guess, to win in this league?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny is the biggest transition for me back to college. So the game's a little different in college. It's a little different, just the style of play. But I feel like it's in the NFL. Last year we were 10-7. We were the last team in the playoffs in San Francisco, and in the NFC Championship game, we're beating the Rams at halftime, and we're the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl. We lost 7 games. We were going to be the best team in football at the end. College, you lose a game, it's like the end of the world after one game. It's just crazy how it is. I mean, if we're getting ready for a wild card game or a playoff game in this town, we'd be jacked right now. It is the pressure and putting on 18 and 19 and 20-year-olds, the immense pressure that they have to learn from and grind through, and the outside influences and things that go on. It is very, very, very challenging. But what I love about this program and the players and what I appreciate is Coach Stoops has recruited the right types of people. He's got the right kind of grit. It exudes it into the whole program, and we're willing to fight through all those tough times. And I thought last week showed a great deal of respect to that. But to me, every game is like the end of time if you don't win it. Whereas in the NFL, you literally wake up on Monday and go to work. All right, we'll get next week. We're gonna win 11 this year. We'll be all right. So it is interesting. But it also makes it more fun, and it's a great challenge, and I've loved the good and the bad.
I was gonna say, is that a vote for an expanded playoffs, or is it
Absolutely.
good the way it is?
No doubt about it. I mean, it is. I mean, it would be different if there were 16 teams, battling it out. You'd feel completely different. But it's still, the cool part is, we're gonna have a great year. We're gonna finish strong. We're gonna get better, and we're gonna build for the future. But the guys who are here are gonna enjoy a bowl game, and we're gonna finish on the right foot. Like, you can feel it, and we're doing the right things. And today's practice represented that.
Okay, folks, thank you very much.
Josh, you weren't the highest ranked recruit in this class. You have deep tight end room, yet you've kind of carved out a role here on the team. Was that your expectation all along, or has it surprised you, like the success you're having early in your career?
Yeah, I mean, I knew what I was capable of all along, and I just knew I had to keep working. The off season coming up here, I knew Coach Merrill had faith in me, and I just knew I had to work at it to get what I wanted, and I'm glad I was able to achieve it and start getting on the field and proving myself each week.
Did you feel like your blocking talent would get you on the field quicker than maybe your pass catching?
Coach Merrill told me as a recruit, he said, one thing I want to see you be able to do is block. If you can block, you can get on the field. And so that's just one thing I was good at in high school, and I hope to carry on here. And so I do think that was a big thing that helped contribute to me getting on the field.
We've heard that your physicality, your personality gets under the skin of some opponents sometimes. Any fun interactions that you've had out there so far?
No, I after the play, after the whistle, I go back to the huddle. I try not to get into it with any of them. So, but between the whistles, I'm nasty out there, and I'm gonna bring it to them. But after the play, just go back to the huddle, get ready for the next play.
Has your dad helped you more with blocking technique or receiving technique?
He's helped me with both. I mean, I can't even count the amount of balls I've caught in the backyard with him. So just having a dad like that growing up has definitely helped me grow into the player that I have today. And I'm very appreciative towards him. But he's done both. He's always helped me with technique, whether that was from watching high school huddle film and stuff like that. But he's always just been a very good coach to me. So I'm very appreciative towards him.
Josh, you mentioned that nastiness you play with in between the whistles. Is that something you've always done, just been natural to you, or is it something you had to learn through time growing up playing football, or has it just come natural? You've been like that since you've been playing since Pee-wees.
I think it's come naturally. My dad's always told me, you play to the whistle, play to the whistle, play to the whistle. So, each play I'm just going to give it my all, and that's all I can do. There's a lot of talented football players out there, but I really feel like even though you're not the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, if you attack them and have that mindset that you're gonna go after them every play, then you can be successful out there.
Jordan's another guy in your room who's having kind of a breakout year. What's it been like playing with him and watching him do his thing?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, Jordan's a great player. He's obviously doing really well, catching some passes. He's made some great blocks, and I'm very glad that we get the opportunity over the next couple of years to, build this tight end room into something even more special than it has been. So it's been awesome, and I've really, had a great time playing with him so far.
What have you picked up from Bates, just being in that room with him and watching him in practice?
Oh yes, he's been a big help. He's been a mentor towards me ever since I was a recruit too, just helping me get to learn more about Kentucky and stuff like that. But since I've gotten here, he's really been like a big brother to me. And whether it's correcting me on technique or other things like that, Bates has just been very helpful to me. Like I said, very appreciative of Bates. He's a very experienced player. He's been in lots of situations, so I'm just glad that I have someone like him looking out for me.
What did it do for the confidence of the offense to be able to score on that last drive or next to last drive? The Missouri gone ahead and you guys came back and scored, especially overcoming a penalty. What did it do for the confidence you guys?
I think all along we knew we were going to score, so we just. It was a big deal. I mean, I'm very happy that we went out there, but I think we all knew we were going to go out there and score. There's no doubt in our minds. So we're just going to keep going at it every week and keep improving as an offense. And I think the offense is going to go out and do their thing this week as well.
Rich told us 2 or 3 different times that this was a especially good practice today. Is that from the momentum of ending the game like that?
I think so, but I feel like we had a really good practice, a few practices last week, so we're just making sure we attack every practice with a certain mentality, and we need to get better each and every week. So as long as we keep coming having good practices and doing good, we'll continue that on the Saturday.
Does becoming bowl eligible give you guys like a little boost because the season is such a grind? So reaching one of your goals, is that kind of motivating in practices?
Of course, we want to make it to the best possible bowl game we can get to, and we still got some really good opponents we got to get through to do that. So, there's a lot of motivation to get to a good bowl game, and we're happy we got to achieve it last week.
Will's finding you on a ton of targets. Was there just something how you were feeling that day, or what?
Yeah, so all week we were just locked in. You could tell everybody was locked in, ready to play last week. Hitting the targets. Will was hitting me and Varian and Tavion all week at practice, and then we came out to the game and it showed how prepared and ready we were to play.
Hey, what did that drive, the winning drive, you catch the touchdown, started that drive with a good play too. What does that do for the confidence of the offense?
Oh, it
going
definitely.
into practice this week.
The confidence for practice this week. Everybody's just ready to play. Vandy's a good team. They played really hard this year, so we got to come out ready to play this week. We got to be locked in all week of practice and just be ready to come out and play on Saturday morning.
I think Rich mentioned 2 or 3 times when he spoke with us that today was an especially good day of practice. What made it so?
I feel like today was just so good because, like I said, everybody was locked in and they know what the task at hand. They know that Vandy's a really good team. Their record might not show that how hard they play, but Vandy plays really hard. So we got to come out and just play how we know how to play and come out ready to play.
To John's point there a moment ago, does ending the game that way create some of that momentum?
Yes, it definitely builds some momentum going into next week. We're all happy about the win. We had our victory meal yesterday, so everybody's just pumped up and ready to go out there and play and have another victory meal next Monday.
Hey, what do you think when you look around and see, like on that drive, all these freshmen are making big plays? What does that say about not only the present but the future of this program?
I knew our class was really good when during fall camp. When we came in. Just how close I got with the guys, all the other freshmen who played, or not even who played, just all the freshmen in my class. Like we got a lot of talent in my class, and the future is gonna look really bright for us, and we're just gonna keep building up years and years.
Kattus keeps making more plays, seems like every week. What has he brought to you guys? And
Kattus is a baller. he's gonna come out every week. He don't care if he gets the ball or not. He's gonna go out there and play his hardest. He'll block anybody, and once he's blocking, you're not gonna get off. He's gonna make that block, and when it's his time to make a play, he's gonna make a play because Kattus is a baller for sure.
And was it any different for the receivers with Coach Scangarello up in the box instead of down on the field?
No, it all really felt the same because we still had Coach Woody and Coach Drew out there, so we were still getting our coaching points. Whether if it was coming from Coach Kang in the box or if it was just coming from Coach Woody on the field, we were still, getting our communications from the booth to the field.
How big was it for the offense to score that touchdown first drive? Obviously, you ended it. Was that like a point of emphasis all last week to get in the end zone to open the
So
game?
that was a point of emphasis. Even in the locker room before the game, we said we're gonna go out there. First drive, we get the ball. We're gonna go out there and score. Second drive, I don't think we scored the second drive, but we said we're gonna go out there and score. So our objective every drive is to go out there and score, and starting it off, setting the tone, scoring on the first drive. Very on starting us off. It just felt really good and really started the momentum of the game.
Where do you feel like your route running is right now? And how much progress do you feel like you've made this year in that regard?
My route running, I feel like it's getting better and better each and every day just for the fact how much I work with Coach Woody and Coach Drew. Just working with those two and them getting the points across, just the little things they see on film just to get better at. I feel like it's getting better and better from where I started, from when I first got here to now. And I hope it's just going to keep getting better with the coaching that they keep, putting in my head.
Is there a greater emphasis on being precise on those with Will being limited and hurting a little bit in the?
Yeah, so just we got to be really precise on every route detail, no matter if Will is banged up or if he's not. We always got to be where the quarterback wants us to be. So working with Coach Woody, Coach Drew, like I said, and really emphasizing on being where the quarterback needs us is always a big part of the room.
He will seem to be throwing you all open more so as the season goes on than was earlier in the year.
Honestly, I feel like Will's always throwing me open. That's how I get the ball in my hands. Will makes the plays for me.
What was on the touchdown play? Without giving away what the play was, what was the route? And you said it was a good throw. He said he could have made a better throw. What about that play?
I just ran an in-breaking route. Will waited. He waited. And right when I popped open, he threw it, and I just made the catch. He made it easy for me to make a throw and catch. It just made it as easy as he could.
Easier than breaking the tackle?
Yeah, I think it was easier.